Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to another edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales in gloomy Southern California. This gentleman out there is
Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
Bryce, and I have the distinct pleasure of tasting and dissecting something that I've been hoarding for a while from him, and I know he's been chomping at the bit. This is Alto Canto. Go and show the box. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, I know you folks may have seen our Alto Canto reviews for the Blanco and the Reposado. This is the high proof,
I don't want to
which,
chunk this on the floor, so let me be careful.
yeah, be careful
Yeah,
because I had spillage on this one too. Can you believe that, man? I don't know what is it about my deliveries that I get spillage on these. But anyway, beautiful champagne bubbles. And the we love the packaging. It's very tactile, very
yeah,
easy to hold. The box is just it's nice. I mean, a whole nice presentation. Very, very nice. Um, we loved Alto Canto. I think we're about ready. When you see this, folks, uh we're actually recording this right before we announce our Brands of Promise winners. And I'm pretty sure Alto Canto is in there somewhere. There's so many of them that were delivered to us last year, and 2025 is going to be even bigger. So we wanted to hold back on some of these to make sure we gave everybody a an even playing field because it's going to be a very, very crowded field this year. Um, but I don't, it's been months, weeks since I've had this, so I have no idea what's in it. What are we looking at as far as the ABV on this? Because I know that high proof and still strength are like two separate things these days.
yeah. They are, but yet undefined. But yeah,
Or overproof. Some people call them overproof, and I don't know if that's a whiskey term or
yeah, I don't know.
bourbon.
I've used all the terms, but yeah, no, this one's 48, so 96
Yeah,
proof.
96
Yeah,
proof. So it's not still strength because I think the
correct.
bar
Yeah.
for still strength is 110, isn't it? Isn't that Tapatio like 110?
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument that it's the proof that comes off the still at. You can distill to, 40 ABV if you're talented. But yeah, I would think still strength would be, yeah, that 100, 110.
Yeah, the 110 for me
Yeah.
that would be the bar. And I tell you what, I've tried the tasting techniques with the 110. Be real careful, man. That stuff will burn the inside of your mouth. You literally will burn the inside of your mouth because that's high proof. But
Yeah,
so
I think
this
all
is
these lines are like a map, with the elevation. Because if you
oh,
look at
is that what this is?
yeah, if you look at the top right corner, it shows the elevation 9,000 feet in this
Oh
corner.
yeah, right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 So it's like the maps that show you yeah,
And
because
it's
I mean,
also
this
got
is,
it's got some positioning, some emblazoning here at the bottom,
oh, yeah.
which I think is what am I looking at? Is that the logo? That's an agave, a stylized agave, maybe?
Yeah, must be.
I mean, all the it's their logo. That's what it is. Yeah, it's their logo, the Alto Canto logo. Uh Very detail oriented, and the cork and the knob is very lacquered. It's a lacquered like a what is it, part of a tree or
You say
something?
like ceramic or feels like it's pottery, like ceramic
Yeah,
topper.
yeah, yeah. It's
Like
very
it's glazed, like a
yeah.
glazed ceramic
It's
topper.
it's very artfully done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's flawless. They really have taken a lot of time with with what they're doing. I'm going to use my Stasso Jarrito for hype for overproof for mezcal, which is basically
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
so I'm going to use that one,
Just got the wider kind of
the wider mouth,
yeah.
which and I got to say for the Jarrito, it doesn't require a lot you put a splash in there and you get pretty much everything you're going to look come anything that you're looking for, you'll get out of this glass with this particular with the high proofs.
Yeah, another thing I thought was interesting is about like the region this is made in. So it's like they still call it the Highlands, but it's actually like, I mean, it's a high elevation, but it is like south of Guadalajara. So down by like Lake Chapala area. So it's not
Really?
it's not your Arandas, Jesus Maria that
Okay.
we were talking about. So I want to say it's got to be then on the south side of the Lake Chapala, which is huge lake, but great, like high elevation. Because even over there in the Jesus Maria Arandas area, it doesn't get to 9,000 feet.
No, no,
Not
no.
seven, mid sevens maybe.
Yeah, I think the Totonilco gets anywhere from 6 to 7, I think. Um, Let me ask you, have you been to Lake Chapala? Chapala?
Oh, I've driven around it. I haven't gone to the towns.
What's the environment look like? What's a because everything everything in the environment affects
Hmm.
what goes into the fermentation. I'm assuming that they do open air fermentation. I'm not sure that the inside of the box did have a little info an info
Yeah, they got
leaflet.
yeah, wood fermentation, 100% agave, open air fermentation, spontaneous fermentation, and then ferment with fibers. Yeah, so yeah, really going because I also see like I mean they're organic,
Well, here it goes. Listen to this.
organic
In
and
in
filtered.
the fertile in the little booklet tells you right there because I was wondering what the environment the ecology was and it says in the fertile Sierra del Tigre range 6,000 acres of wooded peaks soft breezes blow through the fragrant mountain pines from the Sierra del Tigre. We derive both our water source, the fresh springs cutting through the crests, and the lush air, which both sparks our fermentation and cradles the barrels in which our spirits rest. So at this altitude, the thin air plays an outsized role in the transformation of a tequila, and Alto Canto does not merely adapt to that reality, it exists to honor it. So the elevation, the air, the environment, all that, because like you say, it was open air fermentation. That's what I want to know. So it sounds like some of the areas similar to where mezcal comes from, and depending on the region or
Yeah,
what.
I remember we crossed once from the highlands to the valley, and we went on the southern side of Lake Chapala, and it's mountainous. I mean, it's a lot of high elevation. More so than we have the Texas Hill Country, which we get a lot of elevation changes, but it was a little more mountainous than that. Not
It's,
quite the Rockies or anything crazy,
no, it
but
sounds like Flagstaff. You've been through Flagstaff, right?
okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Flagstaff's beautiful.
It's a lot of steep
Flagstaff is just
slopes. Yeah,
yeah, just high enough but not too high that you're up,
Hmm.
like the Rockies, like Colorado.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's what it sounds like. It sounds very okay. Wow, that's different.
yeah.
We're nosing it now. If you folks are listening to us on the podcast, now I'm getting um, not floral. It's not floral like we had just gotten done doing a tasting Zumbador, which was very floral, more in the Highlands area. This is a bit different. It's brighter.
Yeah. Honeysuckle, jasmine. Like, there's something to me is coming off like sweet and pretty, light, like
Juniper.
juniper. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is like a gin,
Oh, yeah.
but not so
Yeah,
gin
yeah, yeah. Not
or
so much, but the main ingredient in
yeah,
gin
yeah.
is typically juniper. Yeah.
And it's
Okay. I mean,
oh
obviously
juniper,
you've got that agave backbone, but that pretty scent that's coming off of
and
there.
it's very pleasant. It's very scented.
Yeah.
It's like it belong. You know how you get that pine tree that you hang from the rearview mirror?
Yeah.
It's not that scenty, but kind of.
Right.
That's what I was getting. I was
Hmm.
getting more forestral. That's not a word.
I,
More tree forward, more uh
Yeah, I mean, I could see like I mean, they mentioned the pines. I mean, if you've ever taken a pine needle and like cracked
yeah,
it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. We've got pines out here on the front lawn. You could take them
Oh,
in
okay.
your hand,
Yeah.
Uh uh Juniper grows everywhere. It's kind of like
Yeah.
but there are different types of pine as well.
Mm,
There's always the sap will always smell a certain way and you just kind of know you're in a pine tree forest somewhere.
yeah. I get a little minerality,
Yeah, got plenty of that actually.
or plenty. Yeah, actually, not just a little, but minerality is very present. Clean.
Hardly any alcohol. I'm not getting like an alcohol sting at all.
Yeah, and me neither.
It's very pleasant. And then there are some hints of a floral, but it starts off much more
Yeah,
differently. It's very much at the
yeah,
bottom of
it's
the
not dense.
glass.
I even find myself nosing it closer to the glass than I would think of for a higher proof.
Yeah.
Normally, I mean, you can be up here, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's like no alcohol pushing the aromas up. So
yeah,
it's kind of odd. You really got to
yeah,
you almost have to dig in for it. Not a whole
yeah,
lot,
yeah, yeah,
but it's very pleasant. It's very, very pretty in a different kind of way. Much different. It's nice that we did a Highlands tequila before we did this one because it's really the whole region is different. I'm glad you brought that up because that
yeah.
wasn't something that I was keeping in mind. But the name means, higher
High
octave
song.
or a higher
Yeah,
song. And of course that like you pointed out on the glass on the bottle, it's just a higher elevation.
yeah,
And there are many wooded areas too. I mean, I think Michoacan has a lot of forest around it. In fact, parts of Oaxaca, if I'm not mistaken, are that way as well. It's not all jungle. Okay,
yeah.
so
And you have to remember also with different, like if you're in a more wooded area, you're also going to have different, you know, animals, things like that. I mean, the natural yeast is not just coming from, you know, plants. So,
no, the whole we have a video that we have a link to for during our Catador course. In fact, where it's Ron Cooper explaining that I think it's every 100 meters, there are different microbes that affect when you do open air fermentation. It affects what the final product smells and tastes like.
yeah,
So if
what
you're
would end up fermenting your
yeah,
yeah.
whatever
So,
microclimate you're in, because that's basically it. This is the microclimate.
yeah, yeah,
I'm ready to dive in if you
yeah,
are.
yeah, me too.
Here we go. Mm, 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 mm. Wow. That is a mouthful.
Yeah, and it evolves. It's kind of like a spring of agave that just kind of keeps evolving in your
Yeah,
mouth.
it's very unlike some of the other high proofs that we're getting out of even the Highlands. This was
Mhm.
reacting way differently.
Yeah, because even some of the best ones, you get them and they're very good and stuff, but it's kind of that one note or that one experience. This one seems to kind of just be changing. I mean, this is my first sip of it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it seems to be
wow.
growing and
That
changing.
the retro nasal gave me I got more of the baked agave, but it was sweeter on the nose as well. I mean, the retro nasal just brought it right back. And the lip and gum numbness are not as aggressive as I thought they would be with some of the other ones that we
Yeah,
get. The overproofs and the high proofs that we're getting are a bit more aggressive on the mouthfeel. This one was very pleasant. This was
yeah,
dangerously
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pleasant. This is not this is not good. Keep it away. If you're not ready for it, keep it away because oh my God. Wow, that was just my first pass. I got to try this again. Holy cats, man. Of course, I didn't swallow, so I have no idea. I just, whatever was on my palate, it's an explosion of flavor.
Mhm.
There's some real depth to this one, which I gotta say, Bryce, very unlike some of the other high proofs that we're getting. Like you said, they're very one-sided, maybe double, maybe two-dimensional. This one's got more depth to it, more layers to it.
Yeah, you're not gonna be disappointed on that second sip.
Mm, mm. Oh my God.
I mean, stone brick oven, Tona Crush, natural spring water. wood fermentation tanks
I was going
spontaneous
to say, it's
fermentation. I mean,
very,
yeah,
it's green too. It's like I'm getting, you said there was like jasmine. I am getting some kind of herbaceousness,
yeah, jasmine,
but,
juniper.
but it's more juniper. And
Yeah,
I think at one point I even thought I got maybe like spearmint, but it was so fleeting that it wasn't. Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right. It's more like toward the jasmine, more of the um, juniper, more
Maybe,
more.
yeah, more on the perfume side than the savory side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Forestal. Is that a word? Forestal? I'm gonna have to look that up in my Funkin' Wagnall.
yeah,
But it's very it's like when you go camping, you've been camping in the mountains, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, uh like Bryce said, Texas has no mountains, but they have a hill country.
yeah,
When I lived in New Mexico, we had a lot of Texans that would go into Cloudcroft, or they go into Los Alamos. A lot of Texans have their second homes in those areas because those are forest areas. And in
yeah,
New Mexico, it's so different. The further north you go, the more forest. You got aspen. You got aspen trees, not just in Colorado. You have aspen in New Mexico, and you can even see them if you're on the ground. You can see them in the mountains. There's a couple of reservations. I think Inn of the Mountain Gods is famous for their high. It's a higher altitude, but the whole atmosphere, the whole microclimate is so different. This is like a night of camping, man. This is like a forest, you're telling stories by a stream in the forest after you're done fishing during the day or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Like kind of the spring water, but then you have kind of the forest floor, but then the trees itself,
Yeah.
kind of.
Because even the forest floor will have, the I forget what the terminology is, but the soil itself is actually, it's dead
Yeah,
foliage. And that's just the circle of life, right? It's like it might even, I bet if it opens up, it might even get a little bit of mushroom in there. But because if it's Taona crush, see, I'm still trying to get something out of that Taona, and
yeah.
it's probably giving it the minerality
I
because
get
it's,
the minerality on the nose, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is really nice though. Oh
Mm.
man. Mm, mm.
So it's like it's full bodied as well, not thin. Good denseness on the palate. It's not like over oily, but just with
No, it's got great
dense with
structure.
flavor. But yeah,
Yeah. And the lip and gum numbness is very minimal.
mm,
Very minimal. Some of the high proofs will really sting that lip and gum.
yeah,
This one is a nice long finish though. I like the finish on this one.
yeah.
This
Definitely, I
is
would just leave this for sipping.
Yeah, I wouldn't, unless you want to make a martini with it,
Yeah, it's yeah. It'd have to be like a two
I would
ingredient because
I
there's
wouldn't
complexity here you don't want to miss out on.
yeah, now you
Yeah,
could put an olive in it
yeah,
or those little cocktail onions.
hmm
I think I would go with the cocktail onion versus the olive to make it like a martini.
yeah,
Because this really is outstanding. Wow, what an eye opener, man. Wow. And it just keeps evolving. Like you said, it evolves in your mouth. The viscosity and the body and the structure that it's got on the palate is really complex. There are some reposados and añejos that aren't as complex as this thing on
oh,
high
oh,
proof.
oh, for sure.
Wow.
I think we've got the no brainer on the.
Oh yeah, of course. Jeez, brand of promise nominee. How come yours looks like it's made of foil?
I don't know.
Yours is shiny. How come it's so shiny? I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, this is gorgeous. Now
Yeah.
what do we now? I'm sure we got a price point for this thing. What are we looking at as the
Yeah, so it's at that $90. It's in, it's going to vary by
really?
location, but yeah.
That's not bad though.
Yeah,
That's
I think Old Town was the price point I saw was mid 90, so 95, I want to say. But
wow. So
I
so
mean,
a buck a degree.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
Wow.
obviously it's got to be, it's gonna be a conscious decision, but I can't say like you're getting ripped off, I'm
No,
pretty
you're getting
conservative,
your
so
money's worth.
yeah, I'm more I'm more I guess price sensitive, but like yeah, it's a good one.
Hmm.
If you like high proof Blancos, if you like kind
I
of that
gotta
more,
tell you too, Bryce. I know that Bryce is starting to experiment now with mezcals and all types of mezcal. I gotta tell you, this one kind of leans a little bit, reminds me a little bit, and I can smell it on the nose. This is still my only pour. It smells more fibrous, like if it was fermented with fibers, but it's not. And it reminds me a little bit. It gives me a hint of what a raicilla is
okay,
like. And
yeah,
raicillas are generally higher proof, fermented with fibers, and more like a mezcal, and it's a whole different plant. But it really does. It's kind of like an echo. It harkens to that. It kind of leans toward that. It doesn't. There's no way this thing leans into a Highlands anything. This
yeah,
is way different. The whole microclimate's a whole different animal.
yeah, and they ferment with fibers.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they ferment with fibers.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. See, I didn't pay attention, and I don't
It
have a
also
spec
said
sheet for it.
distilled with fiber.
Distilled with fiber,
Yeah,
not
I've
just
heard of.
fermented. So it's done like Siempre does it, like the Siempre version that they have out.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Siempre
Yeah,
distills that distilling with fiber that screws up your still. That's like a it's done like they do with it comes out of Peru and Chile. What the hell is it? It's another type of liquor. But anyway, it for distilling with fibers is tough to do.
yeah. So
It's
then
crazy.
you
So
gotta,
are they? So
yeah.
does it say distilled or fermented with fiber? That's
It's
two different things.
yeah. No, it's saying both fermented with fibers and distilled with fibers.
Wow, but it's so bright.
So I mean, but that's also probably where that complexity, the just the layers, because you're not getting it all from just one or the other.
Yeah, and it's not coming out all at once. I mean, raicillas tend to be very fibrous, like mezcals. It's a prominent aroma and flavor. It's like a primary, and then everything else, like even smoke, is tertiary, secondary, tertiary. So but this was only a hint of the fibrous because it's not. It's very bright and
Mhm.
more toward that juniper pine thing that's going on with it.
Yeah, I think the fiber just kind of come across in that density part of it, like
Mm.
slightly earthy, not too earthy, because I think
No,
it's
I,
bright overall.
I think you pegged it with the minerality. I
Yeah,
think that's exactly what I would call this. Uh, uh, the other part of it would not. It doesn't ring like that for me. So, dude, outstanding stuff. So what are you getting on the hand?
yeah, more of that kind of that pine, some of the like the earthy, kind of the natural. Yeah,
It's a natural pine.
yeah,
I'm not even going to call it sap. It's not sap.
yeah,
It's the
no,
pine needles.
yes, the
It's the
needle.
needles. Sap is a whole different thing. That's like pine tar. And
Yeah,
and you get that more in mezcals. You'll get especially in mezcals that are where they're produced. They have whatever the microclimate is, and they have more pine trees in that area. Uh, this one is not like that. I'm very impressed with this. I'm
yeah,
impressed with the complexity. There's lots of layers with it. I say drink it as a martini and call it done. You're finished.
yeah,
Um, Brand of Promise nominee in that high proof category. That is outstanding. I'm glad you. Thank you for bringing up the location because I think that we have just had a different category of high proof. We have Highlands high proof versus high proof in more forestal areas. Because this one has convinced me that that is not the same as a corrido high proof, or you and I've had, we enjoy
Yeah.
high proofs. It's not a
Oh,
Tapatio
yeah.
110. It's
No.
not it's not Toralta. It's not any
No.
of those.
Yeah.
So I'm thank you for bringing that up, because that's
Yeah.
going to help me categorize it, because it really isn't a category by itself. Folks, if you've had it before, let us know down in the comments. Leave us a like. Our analytics are telling us that people are watching us, but they're not subscribing. A lot of you keep coming back and coming back. That's cool. I do the same thing with, I'm a big Marvel fan, so I go to that a lot of the fanboys and try to get all the spoilers from, the movies that are
Mhm.
coming out, because I'm just like that kind of guy. But subscribe, okay? Hit the notification bell. That way, whenever we drop a review, you guys get the first dibs on that. We got a lot of reviews, a lot of great news coming up in 2025. We have the end of our 25th anniversary coming in July, so stick with us. We've got a lot of stuff coming. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is.
Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
Follow Bryce on all of his platforms. He's the Austin Tequila Connoisseur. Read his reviews. He's going to be writing a lot more of those for us as well on Tequila Aficionado magazine. You can go to our website, tequilaaficionado.com, subscribe. Again, subscribe to us here on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.